Hello friends, my name is Olga. I'm a mature medical student from Ukraine, and unfortunately today I should tell you about war in my country and about what new kind of news we have and what life I have now as a person who become some kind of victim of war. Of course, I cannot, say that I was in the most dangerous regions where people were raped and killed by Russian soldiers, and where the most cruel thing happened. But I was very close and I was very scared, and now I escaped, and now I am as a refugee, live not in Ukraine but in some closest European countries. Of course I cannot I should mention about Bucha, about that northern small villages and towns were freed from Russian army, and what disaster, what nightmare happened to them. There was a lot of corpses of killed people, and a lot of people were with the tied hands behind the back, and with the hole from the bullet here. A lot of women were raped, not once but a lot of times, of plenty of soldiers, and after that killed. A lot of people were just shot at on the streets. After that, Russians, they captured a lot of things from home. They started to steal everything. For example, washing machines, computers, money, blenders from kitchen, toasters, coffee machines, everything that they want to take, because actually all these guys, all these Russian soldiers, they are from the deep Russian villages, and they cannot let in their native, town or village, they do not have these things. They do not have, for example, washing machines, of course, or coffee machines, or even computers, and they just steal here. So if Russia says that Russia come here to free and to rescue Ukrainians, and you see how poor the soldiers of the Russia, and they try to to rescue us. You understand what kind of level of life they have. If they even call home and say that you cannot believe, mother, here all roads asphalted, and they lead to all villages with these roads covered by proper coverage. And in Russia, not all villages have even gas, not all villages have normal roads and others. So such a type of people come to save us, and they started to murder, to kill people, to take different things, and now our people say that they should be punished in Russia. But when the war started, Putin, after maybe second week or 10 days of war, they had problems with food for Russian soldiers, because they have this, special military packages with food, and they were very old. For example, this canned food, some dried food for soldiers. And when our army captured, they, for example, tanks or camps, they opened their bags, and there was such a food, and it was the date expired, for example, 2013, 2005, so this was very old food actually, and they already ate that. And as our army destroyed their logistics so they cannot, deliver new food, new fuel. And after that, Putin created such an order that all Russians on the territory of Ukraine should be on self-feeding, should be on they should get food, get everything they need by themselves. I mean that it means that he let them robber, steal, demand food from Ukrainians, get food everywhere they can. So that was the order of Putin. And actually that Russian soldiers, they started to steal stores with computers, with techniques, with food, and they started to come to Ukrainians and take food from them. It is very, very bad situation, because as I told you that in times of war, Russians, they first of all destroy food storages, medicament storages and stores. So for Ukrainians also very big problem, the food and the water near military actions, near fights. So they come to these people and take their last food they have. And so they were just like robbers, completely robbers. And also after our people watched that, maybe you watched also that videos from Bucha, very horrible videos with destroyed towns near Kiev, Bucha, Hostomel, Irpin, Makariv. It is towns near Kiev that were captured, and there was the most difficult situation where a lot of people were killed. And so when they captured this, and they took a lot of things from home, from Ukrainians, people here started to say that these soldiers should be in prison, should be judged in Russia, and should have problems with law, because actually they came do not make wars. They came just to steal, to murder, to make murders. And then we understood that in Russia the laws was changed for soldiers. They will be responsible for murders of civilian people. They could be responsible for murders. There is such a law in Russia still, and we don't know if it will work. But the responsibility for stealing something from the civilian people by Russian soldiers is cancelled. So I mean that it means that if Russian soldiers steal all money of civilian people on captured territories, they steal, techniques, they steal computers, they steal money, they steal food, they steal anything they want, there is no any responsibility for them, because they, they cancelled this this thing from the laws, so Russians will have no any responsibility. So I mean that Russian army came to robber people, robber Ukrainians. And of course the image of Russian army now in the world should be the same as maybe you feel about what you think now about such people who came to steal. So the image of Russian army now very low, and they also try to support it by fake news, by disinformation. I just walk with my cat Lolita here where I'm living, and unfortunately Lolita catched a lot of ticks here, a lot of ticks, and even one was on my head and fell on her, because I ran after her, and as she likes to climb or run inside the bushes. I also have to follow her, do not lost her. So I also had one tick here and one tick in my head, and she had 3 ticks, one on the tail and one near, near nose, and it was only just for 20 minutes walk. Before this, she also got some ticks, maybe 2 ticks per one walk. So now I will not let her go out, unfortunately, because of such plenty of ticks. She had some curement, some drops on her, back, and he will not catch some, disease, but me not. I can be infected by such some of diseases that ticks could transfer from the hosts to hosts. So it is very dangerous for me, and now I think that I will refuse to go out with Lolita. I bought her beautiful red LED, but unfortunately I will try to not use it often here. But I want not to tell you about my walks with Lolita, with my cat. I want to tell you another thing, because when I walked with her, I met other woman. She was not young, and she maybe was from some Northern Europe or Germany. And she started to ask me, about cats and about politics, of course, as she knew that I'm from Ukraine. And she started to tell me such strange things, like that I understood that she watched this international Russian channels, because Russia, they try to influence on her own citizens. Russia tried them do not get another information from another sources, so they try to limit all information, and instead of this they give their own information. I mean that it is fake information. And so I see from that conversation with this woman, I understood that they also work internationally. So she started to ask if Zelensky is inside Kiev, because she do not believes him, and she maybe already lives in United States. She gets a lot of money from United States, and that America produced some biological infections weapons and want to apply it against Russian in Ukraine. And it was completely disaster. Then she asked me why Zelensky is still alive. I mean, that why then Putin still alive? It is completely funny, ridiculous question. I told her that Kiev is a really very protected city, and that systems that destroy any objects in the air, I mean that anti-missile, anti-bomb and plane systems that destroy everything that flies in the air. There just plenty of them near Kiev, and actually sky under Kiev is closed. Of course, some of missile can reach their goal and strike, but it will be, for example, 1 or 2 missiles out of 100. Of course, they can reach their goal, but not planes, because missile, it is harder to destroy in the air. It is smaller. And of course, President, one of the most protected persons in Ukraine, and Kiev is one of the most protected cities, because if you look on the Kharkiv, on the Dnipro, on other cities, they receive the strikes. Anyway, they also protected, for example, that international polygon, Yavoriv polygon near Lviv, Russian shooted 30 missiles in direction of this place, and only 8 of them reached their goals, and other 22 was eliminated in the air. And this object is not not that protected as Kiev. That's why Zelensky is still alive, because the center of the Kiev very protected in the air, very protected in the on the earth. He has bodyguards and of course more than 10 times Russian diversants and spies they tried to kill him, but he is protected, of course, as any president. And it is very strange question, because we can ask why then Putin is still alive, because with such a politics he also can be killed by any, any person near him, because I don't believe that everyone supports his politics inside, even on the top of, Russian power government. So maybe that's why he sits in that bunker somewhere, not in Kremlin, but somewhere deep in Russia, and no one knows where is it. That's why he is afraid to sit even near the closest persons, like Shoigu. It is Minister of Defense of Russia, and he sits on the very long table. Maybe you saw this, maybe 10 meters from that minister, and they talk. So he afraid a lot of, and he is still alive too. I mean, such a strange people. And she started to say that well, the Germany and other countries here, they also the part of NATO, the part of European Union, and if they give the weapon to Ukraine now, they will be participants, like they are participants like war. I mean that Russia, you must understand that Russians, they want to get as more territories, as more countries, and as more nations as they can. They do not want to stop. I told her such a story when Putin asked small boy, where is the border of, what kind of border Russia has? And that boy told him, geographically borders of Russia. And Putin said, no, Russia do not have any borders. She started to laugh, but anyway, it's not funny, because it means that he want to get other territories. He do not accept that borders of Russia. He wants more, and he wants also other countries. And now they say on the television that Ukraine is not enough. And if she said that we are participants of war because we help Ukraine by weapon, I mean that it's better for Europeans to help Ukraine by weapon, but do not have the war on the territory of their countries. Because if Ukraine will fail, if Ukraine will have not enough weapon, and Ukraine will be captured, the next countries will be Poland, Moldova, Slovakia, Czechia, Germany, and these actions, these terrible things, that murders, that destructions, it all will be on the territory of Germany, all will be on the territory of Czech Republic, of other countries. And that Germans will also sit on underground shelters, as it was 75 years before. And their territory will be destroyed, their hospitals, kindergartens, schools, everything will be destroyed. That horrible pictures you see from Ukraine will be on the territory of Europe. So yes, you are participants in some way of this war, but that's not we or Europeans, or I mean we Ukrainians wanted this war. This war started by Russia, and Russians decided to capture as much as they can. So we the participants of the war anyway, and Europe, as Russia want to capture it too, also now the participants of the war. And we cannot change anything. If Europe or United States will not help Ukraine. Ukraine will be captured, destroyed, then this war will be on the territories of Europe. So the point of view of this woman was so strange for me. I understood that she looks that Russian, international, English-speaking Russian channels, and she believes all that they're said, and I felt so pity about that a lot, maybe not a lot, but some Europeans, some people from other countries, they watch such channels and they believe Russia. I mean that Russians, they very good at lies, they're very impudent, and they lie all the time, and the way they lie, this confident lie, you know, make Europeans believe that it is true. But for them it's really very, very simple to kill someone and return to you and say that he didn't kill anyone. For them it's very, very easy to lie. It will be very easy to be confident in that lie, and unfortunately on television they create such pictures and people believe that, and I was so disappointed about that. Unfortunately, and I hope that not all people believe that. Not all people believe that it is very hard, of course, to distinguish for people who are far from this war, to understand what is true and what is not true. And actually, a lot of fake news and lies they spread inside in Ukraine, and some people even believe in Ukrainians. Some of them can believe that fake news, and our government say how to resist such wrong information, how to do not believe, do not watch such fake news. The most good way to do not, do not follow such a news, do not watch them, it's do not trust any channels. And the best way to get news is to sign up for some official sources, for example, some pages of Ukrainian president, of some Ukrainian ministers that now are, involved in conflict. I believe that international English speaking translated page they exist, and it is better to receive information from that sources, from that official sources. For example, sources of military forces of Ukraine, official channels, not just any channels, but official channels. Some page or I don't know if the president have some channel on YouTube, maybe not, but some channels on some Telegram or Viber or WhatsApp, or I don't know, somewhere they have some official, channels, and you may sign up for official news, and that is the best way to watch videos with official persons from the government of Ukraine, and listen to them, because even not bloggers, not all people, they're honest, and not all say truly what happened and truth in their videos. And unfortunately, a lot of people, especially who are a little bit elder, they believe everything they watch, and this woman I talk today was one of that people I believed. So that is the video. I know that I made a little pause before. That is because I was very tired. I was very I don't know, I knew that I should do some videos, but I had no enough power. I had to how to get used to a new place, because I had very hard road. I had a lot of bags and 4 cats, and it was very hard for me to to get used to a new place, to come down, to a little bit relax. here. So now I did some pause, I did some interruption in my videos, but now I believe I will try to do it a little bit, you know, how to say, often. And that is the video. I believe this video quite long for me. I usually do not do such a long video, but that conversation with that German woman was so, for me, was very disappointed. How to say? I was very disappointed about that. That in Europe, not all people support Ukraine, and not all people understand what really happened. I mean that, of course, it is better to to come to Ukraine and to live there at least a week. Not maybe in that places where active military actions, but at least in Western Ukraine, at least in Lviv, to understand, to feel that atmosphere, what happened. Of course, it will be not the same. Maybe it's better to go to Kiev now and to feel what happened, but this is advice not for all people, because I understand it's a little bit dangerous, but I want to give such an advice for people who are like do not sure if, you know, like what happened, to believe Ukraine or to believe Russia, and they like a little bit believe Russia more. So I would give them such an advice to attend Kiev, for example, now, and to talk to people, to feel that atmosphere, what happened, and watch on their own eyes what happened there. And of course, Kiev, it's protected. You will not feel, you know, this bombardments, missiles, but it is scary. And after that, I think all people, they change their mind about the role of Russia and role of Ukraine, and what happened in Ukraine now. So that is the video. I know that I should stop it now because quite long for me. Thank you for watching. If you're watching it even now, after 27 minutes of my conversation, of my talks. See you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye.